Hello and welcome back to Pseudo Gameplay TV for another character analysis. As we continue down the list of introducing these characters alphabetically in terms of their main storyline appearances, we come to none other than Spider-Woman, more commonly known as Spider-Gwen. Now, Spider-Gwen is pretty new to the Marvel Comics scene, making her first appearance in 2014. So the character is only 5 years old, though the individual that is personified by the character is quite a bit older. As a Spider-Verse type hero, there's a lot of different things that she has that are pretty similar and standard with a lot of the other Spider-Verse heroes that you might encounter, such as her superhuman strength, speed, durability, and agility, the ability to cling to most surfaces, some degree of a healing factor that she possesses as well, a precognitive spider sense to alert her to dangers, as well as the use of web shooters that are wrist-mounted to shoot spider web strings from the wrist. The one thing that makes Spider-Gwen a little bit different is she uses interdimensional travel, and we did get some taste of that in the film at the end of this past year, Into the Spider-Verse, though the repercussions aren't nearly as drastic in this game or other representations of her as they were in that film. Now, in terms of the attacks that she has access to in this game, they do take some elements from other attacks that we've seen, as well as putting her own unique twist onto it as well. So the first one is Catchy Attack Name, where she releases multiple web blasts in the direction that the character is facing, and this is one of those attack styles that you can mash the button to continue and repeatedly use. The second attack that she has access to is the Legit Beatdown, where she will swing a giant ball of webbing around in a circle, hitting enemies in the area, and then releases the ball to create more of a damaging effect. Her third attack that she has access to or uses is the Disappearing Act, where she warps into the air above a specified location and then attacks with a heel drop, which causes a shockwave, which is kind of nice that it has a bit of an area of effect type attack. And this is one that you can actually aim as you hold the button to kind of determine where you want to place it. Her fourth and final attack is Swing Time, where she will shoot a string of web into the air and then use momentum for a swing attack in the area. So this is another one of those area of effect type attacks. And again, this is a button that you can kind of mash repeatedly over and over to continue using the attack. Now, in terms of what we have lined up synergy-wise, we've gone with a pretty standard synergy just to max out what Spider-Gwen has access to. Namely, we've brought along Captain Marvel, Star-Lord, and of course Spider-Man, who maxes out a lot of her synergies that she has to offer. But enough talk about the character herself. Let's jump into one of those Infinity Rifts and have a look at what her gameplay actually looks like. Alright, so right off the bat, we want to notice that Spider-Gwen does not have a double jump, but instead has access to a web sling. And like many other characters, this does use up her attack stamina bar. Her her aerial attack is very similar to what we've seen with other Spider characters, where she will launch herself up into the air and then slam down. And this does have a bit of an area of effect, where it has an impact. So it will knock a pretty wide area of characters up into the air. Her standard attacks is a 5-hit combo, and then her heavy, she will barrel forward, twisting herself and launching the opponents out in front of her. Though it is important to note that it does not have any element of knockdown to it. It just simply pushes them back. Of course, if it knocks out the opponent, it will knock them down. Onward and upward into her different attacks, we have first off the Catchy Attack Name, where she will just kind of lash out in front of herself with just the different attacks or the different web shots that she has access to there. So, kind of nice for zoning some opponents, especially if they're getting a little too close for comfort. You can knock them clear back. You saw there that that thug kind of went flying up against the wall. As for her second attack, this one's a little bit more of a damage dealer with her legit knockdown. It is not directionally influenceable. She will always swing that web orb to the left-hand side of her as she finishes the attack. So do keep that in mind if you're looking for the web to do a little bit more damage as it gets used. Build up a little bit more of the stamina before we go to showcase the next attack. Pick up a couple of these stamina recharges as well. Her third attack is the Disappearing Act, where she does not actually disappear until you select where you want it to go. But it does make use of her teleportation, which was showcased in her character intro there. So, it's kind of nice if you need to warp across the battlefield, or if you can use it quickly enough, it can get you out of a bit of a sticky situation. And her fourth and final attack, which she uses, the Swing Time. This one is best indicated here in a group, but she will just kind of swing around in a circle and influence any of the characters in that area. So quite a well damaging type attack. Then for her ultimate, we have the following.
Finish him!
Where she will teleport around, knocking all the opponents up into the air, and then knock them down to the ground to kind of finish them off. So in terms of attack damage, she's primarily a melee fighter with some capability in the ranged component. And is mainly used to provide crowd control from some of the more obnoxious opponents that you might run into. But still has her uses, and can still do quite a bit. So Spider-Gwen has her practicality, and works very well in a team dynamic. So if she's, or anything that you've seen today is something that you're interested in utilizing in your own team format, I would highly encourage it. She is quite a noteworthy addition to the team. Now, we'll be back in a couple of days with another character analysis. This time around, or the next character analysis that we'll see, will be Spider-Man. And we are coming to the close of this series within a couple of episodes more in terms of the main characters. But keep in mind, I will be analyzing any of the DLC characters as well, which includes the free DLC and the paid DLC. So keep your eyes open for that as the weeks roll by as well. Until then, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like if you did. And be sure to mention this to any of your buddies that are playing this game and having a hard time or just want to learn a little bit more about the gameplay. But thanks again for watching, and you have yourself a great rest of your day.